guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about suppliers and the 5 biggest red flags that you need to be aware of when you are looking for your very first supplier to work with to launch your first Amazon product. And these are things that can be very easy to miss, so make sure you watch this video all the way through. And if you enjoy these videos, go ahead and make sure that you are subscribed to this channel if you haven't already, and let's go ahead and jump right in. I have been an Amazon seller since 2019, so that means I have been doing this for 7 years, and I have talked to probably hundreds of suppliers at this point. And there are lots of things that I have learned about how to get the best results when you are talking with these suppliers. And trust me when I say you're going to make your life 10 times easier if you follow this guide and stay away from suppliers who show you any of these traits. The number 1 red flag is a supplier who is non-responsive. And I have a special hate in my heart for this particular quality in a supplier because their entire job is to work with customers. So therefore, if I am reaching out to you as a potential business partner, as a customer, someone who is interested in partnering to create my products, and I don't hear from you for 48 hours, 72 hours, a week or more, I am not going to consider you. Realistically, your supplier should be getting back to you within a day. Honestly, if you want to give them a little bit of grace and give them 2 days to get back to you, that's fine. But anything more than that means that they are unserious, and that is not someone that you want to spend your money with, especially since you are a beginner. You want to give yourself the most potential to have a smooth transition, a smooth experience with getting these products from overseas, and they are going to be annoying to work with if they can't even respond back to a message. Now, the second red flag is quite literally the opposite. So when you have a supplier who is overly pushy, a supplier who is too aggressive, a supplier who is rushing you to place an order. And trust me, you are going to get a vibe for your supplier very early on in those initial conversations. And they are aware that they have stiff competition on Alibaba. There are literally thousands of other suppliers who are offering their goods, and they know that you can go with a bunch of other people. You don't have to go with them. So in order to get you to feel pressured and to expedite the process so that you can't continue to weigh your options, sometimes they will try to rush you into placing your order. Hi dear, are you ready to place your order? We're making the contract. Are we confirmed? Do you agree? They will try to get confirmation from you every little step of the way and do it at a pace that might make you feel uncomfortable or make you feel anxious because, again, you're doing this for the first time. So what you want to remember is that you are in control. You are the customer. And what do they say about the customer? The customer is always right. You do not need to allow them to bully you and push you around when it comes to placing that order, because the truth of the matter is it's your business. It's your money. You are a grown person. You are a business owner, and you are the one who is ultimately in charge of what that timeline looks like. So if they are pushing you and making you feel anxious or overly stressed about the process, making you feel like you don't have enough of an opportunity or enough breathing room to explore all of your options, then you can just cut them off. And you can even let them know, hey, I don't appreciate being rushed. If you want to give them a little bit of grace, give them an opportunity to chill out, but you don't even have to do that. And that's one thing to remember as well. You might feel like you're being rude by not responding back to a supplier who you realize is not a good fit. And while yes, the nice thing to do, the best thing to do in a perfect scenario is that you let them know, hey, I'm actually not going to move forward. I've gone in another direction or whatever. It's also not a crime to leave them where they have you messed up. And if they are just doing too much, it's perfectly within your rights to stop responding. The third supplier red flag is if they do not offer trade assurance or PayPal as payment methods. When there's an order drafted within Alibaba, there are different payments that you can use. You can pay using a wire transfer, which, by the way, never use a wire transfer. That is one of the red flags, is if they ask you to pay using a wire transfer. That is absolutely a no-go. It is untrackable. It is untraceable. Once it's sent, and you have no way of getting your money back in the event that something goes wrong. Which is why, on the flip side of that, we want the supplier to accept Alibaba trade assurance. We want them to accept PayPal because those offer customer protection, buyer protection. That way, if there is an issue, if they drop the ball on the product, if they don't deliver the product, if they mess up the order, then you have a way to get your money back and you're not feeling like you've been taken advantage of or scammed. So make sure that in those earlier conversations, you kind of mention to them, hey, I am going to pay with Alibaba trade assurance, or you can say, my company only pays through PayPal, and give them an opportunity to kind of like give you feedback on that. Because one thing that you might notice is that some of these suppliers will fight you on PayPal. They don't want to use it because there are higher fees for them. So you can even offer, or they might offer, hey, we will do PayPal, but you have to to pay the fee, or we'll do PayPal, but we have to split the fee. Very rarely is a supplier going to be willing to take the loss and pay the entire fee for using PayPal. So just a little bit of a heads up in case they do push back on that. That's the reason they're pushing back, because they want to avoid paying for that fee. So there are ways that you can kind of work with them and come to a middle ground on how that does get paid. But at least in the event that something does go wrong, PayPal will offer you their buyer protection. Of course, under the right circumstances, it can't just be anything, but under many scenarios, they will be able to help you get your money back. And a lot of times, even using PayPal as your payment method will encourage them to do right by you, because they know that if they mess up, then you can get your money back from PayPal, rather than if you were to pay them with a wire transfer. I mean, they could absolutely just play you in terms of the product that you think you're getting versus what they actually deliver, and you would have no way to get your money back. So always protect yourself and pay safely using Alibaba Trade Assurance or PayPal. The next red flag when it comes to suppliers is if you are looking at their information on Alibaba and it looks very, very basic or extremely undone. And what I mean by that is they don't have a lot of information on their page on Alibaba. You can't read up on their factories. You can't see their certificates. They don't have a lot to show. That alone is jarring as a seller, especially as a beginner seller, because what that indicates is that they, one, either don't really care about their profile very much, which again speaks to that level of unseriousness. You are spending hundreds, thousands of dollars with the supplier. You want to know that they care about their business and that they are going to do right by you. And everything that they do and say is a reflection of that. Their professionalism, their communication, their listing, and what they have to show on Alibaba also says a lot about what it will be like to work with them. So make sure that they have been thorough with their information and what they present as a company, so that you can give yourself that peace of mind, and so that they're familiar with the way that things are done. You're going to ask them to put barcodes on your products. You want to know that they are aware of what that is. You are going to have an inspection done on your inventory. You want them to be familiar with that process. You don't want to be working with someone who is brand new to being a manufacturer and then you're their guinea pig for the first time around. So I will say having a bare presence on Alibaba / being super, super new. It's their first year in business. You want someone who's been in business for at least 2 years or more, and that will give you that confidence and peace of mind to continue working with them. And for our fifth and final red flag when it comes to suppliers is if the quality of the product does not meet your expectations. And this one, you are not going to know right off of the bat just by chatting back and forth with them. This is really going to be something that you have to see a little bit further in the process once you actually place an order for a sample with that supplier. You can talk with the supplier. They can give you great information. They can be extremely professional, extremely responsive, amazing price point. Everything seems like a green flag, but then you receive the product and the quality is horrible. And I have seen in my experience teaching thousands of people how to sell on Amazon over the last 6.5 years that there are going to be people who will overlook bad quality product because they have some kind of an attachment or an unreasonable loyalty to a supplier who is at the end of the day somebody that you are employing to do a service for you. You are paying them to create your product, and just because they're nice or just because you guys work well together does not mean you should overlook the single most important thing, which is the quality of the product. You want to make sure that the product is going to be the best possible quality because your customers on Amazon are going to expect that. You don't want to work with a supplier that's going to cut corners and give you cheap, flimsy products that your customers are going to review badly and lead to you having a bad review rating on Amazon or a bad star rating on Amazon. It's not worth it at that point. So really the sweet spot when it comes to having a great long-lasting relationship with your supplier is that they are able to communicate with you effectively, that they are open to negotiating with you, that they provide a good, decent to good quality product, that the pricing is fair, and somebody that you can see yourself working with time and time again. Because if everything goes according to plan, you're not just going to place one order with them and never be in contact again. You are going to be working with them for the foreseeable future as long as you decide to keep selling that product. So you want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence and you're not just going with the first supplier that gives you a good price. That is not the most important thing. Make sure that you are covering your bases and ensuring that you're doing your due diligence, because at the end of the day, it is your business. It is your money. It is your energy that you're putting into this. So you want to make sure that you are doing it the right way. Hopefully you will take my advice and avoid suppliers who have any of those red flags so that you can pick somebody who is going to be absolutely amazing to work with, and you will get that first product launched on Amazon in no time. And if you'd like to learn more about selling on Amazon, I do have a free 60-minute training that I will also link in the description of this video. So you can go ahead and learn about picking products, learn about the launch process and all of that. And if you have any other questions outside of that, feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.